Alright everybody, welcome back, and we're going to do a pod review on a pepper back there. I just want to show you everything's kind of dying out. We're starting to get frost, and we got frost in September this year. Kind of wiped everything out, but in my greenhouse it protected me enough to keep the plants alive a little bit longer. So let's take a look back here, and we want to review this one. This one's a strange one. Some of you probably never heard of this before, and neither did I. But this one here is called an MA Wartryx Yellow. Now that was a variant that came up on its own. I have no idea where it came from, but I don't remember if I planted this seed from the seed that I have, or if the seed was from the package. Don't remember which one this was. But nevertheless, we got a yellow variation of the MA Wartryx right there. That is really strange. And it's a very smooth skin on it. It's not really warty. It's almost kind of habanero-like in flesh on it. So it's really strange. So let's pick it. We got a number of fruits on here with this. So hopefully they all turn yellow like this. And I think the one in the back, there's 2 plants coming out of this pot. There's 3 plants, but one's really small. But I got a feeling this is going to be the only one that's yellow. That's a rarity that happens, but every once in a rare while, that's like how the Sugar Rush Cream got discovered, was by accident, because it just happened to be a variant from the Sugar Rush Peach, and it came out as the Sugar Rush Cream, and that's how that one came about. And it's a very, very popular pepper. This might end up being a similar thing. You can see it does get the tail kind of on it, like the regular MA Wartryx. That's definitely what it is. That is definitely. There's another one in the back. It's just starting to flower now, so hopefully it'll produce enough fruit on it through the winter time for me to at least proof it to know if it's going to be yellow or red. So I got a feeling it's going to be red. It shouldn't be yellow. I don't even know how I ended up with a yellow one, but there it is. That is a yellow one that happened to form its own thing. So let's give you a closer look, bring you into better lighting. And that's what it looks like. That is the MA Wartryx Yellow, folks. That's probably a first, or maybe not. Maybe other people out there who have seen this before. I haven't, though. MA Wartryx Yellow. You can see the bottom of it. And you can see the top. It's kind of got like a rim in the middle. Really strange, but that's what the MA Wartryx looks like. Here's the red version of it over here somewhere. I harvested all the peppers already. This one just came in now. Here's a red version. You can see it's very warty. It's kind of got a flesh like a wall thickness, like a jolokia. Kind of got that kind of thickness on it. Here's another MA Wartryx right back here. You can kind of see what it looks like. Try to zoom you up on that. See what it looks like? That's an MA Wartryx red. That's the normal one. And then here's the yellow. Isn't that so cool? So again, I don't have any information on this. This is just a variant that came up. So hopefully it's stable. I don't know. Usually whenever I get peppers that come out like a different color, this happened to me with the Penix. I had originally ordered the red version, then I ended up with a yellow version, and then I ended up with an orange version, and I think I almost got a cream version one time, but I didn't save the plants from that year. So I may have almost had a cream version of the Penix. And sometimes this happens with peppers. You'll start getting these little color variations come out. Now, I don't know if that's because of me or if that's just because the original mother and donor happen to maybe separate in that one seed or something. I don't know. But that's it. All right, so let's turn you around and give that a go. All right, here we are. We're doing another pod review today, and it's going to be on this pepper right here, and this is the MA Wartryx Yellow. And this happens to be a variant that came out of one of my red versions of MA Wartryx. And Don't know much more about it other than that. I don't know if it crossed with something or why it came out yellow, but here we go. It's an MA Wartryx Yellow. You can actually see the yellow color in the MA Wartryx. Even if it turned orange, like eventually if you leave it on there long enough, it might turn orange. It ain't a red version, I can guarantee you that. I have the red version, I showed it to you early. So this isn't a red version, but this is definitely an MA Wartryx. And the skin is kind of smooth, like a kind of a habanero type of skin. It's not like the MA Wartryx. The MA Wartryx Red has a skin very similar to like a Buchalokia type skin, rumply, thin, but yet kind of hollow sounding. This one's like almost like a habanero, to be honest with you, as far as the wall thickness on it. But that's it. That is the MA Wartryx Yellow. You may never see this again. Don't know if I'm going to get enough seed to even offer something like that. I don't know how stable it is. It's the first time I've ever seen something like this. So I can't guarantee you it's stable. But if I offer you seed, that's up to you if you want to try and stabilize it. You know, if you order 10 seeds, grow out all 10 of them and pick the one out that's yellow. And all the rest of them, if they turn red, you either toss them or separate them. You know, you separate this, the yellow ones or the orange or whatever color this is eventually going to be. I would imagine it's going to stay yellow. But a lot of times if you leave these yellow varieties on a plant long enough, eventually they start turning orange. So that can happen. So I really don't know. Right now it's a yellow color, as you can see. Okay, that is a yellow color. It's starting to get a little orange over here. But that's yellow. Alright, so without any further ado, let's give that a go. Now, I don't remember what the MA Wartryx tastes like. I honestly don't remember that, the red version. But this yellow one kind of had like a Habanero-Ish type flavor to it. It wasn't bad, though. It had some other undertones to it that made it taste a little bit different. It's not quite 100% habanero, but it did have a pretty good habanero-ish type flavor. Now, we'll see how that burn is going to come in. I could already feel it sting in the back of my throat right now. Now, last year I did the MA Wartryx, and I didn't find the MA Wartryx to be that hot. I was rather surprised, to be honest with you. The red version, I didn't find it to be that hot. However, it probably gets much hotter. It's just that year for me didn't really get that hot. It could just be it's just not getting enough sun. That's really starting to kick in on the tonsils more than anything right now. It's really, really hitting the back of my throat more than anything. Get right into the heat a little bit. It's kind of burning a little bit on the end of my tongue here and around the sides of the tongue. Nothing really on the top, maybe just a slight little singe on the top. The concentration of heat is right on that back tonsil, mostly on the right side. Maybe it's just the way I swallowed. It's mostly on the right side. It's the tonsil. It's all around the tonsil area, hitting the top part of the tongue. That whole region of the back of the throat there is getting a little cooked. It's a little warm going down. It's not bad. No hiccups or nothing. But yeah, it had a nice kind of a habanero type flavor to it. It's also heating up my lips a little bit too. Now, it's kind of hard to judge the intensity of this burn because it's really concentrating on the back of my throat. It's starting to pound a little bit on the tonsils. A little bit. Not so much on the tongue. The tongue is heating up a little bit more than it was before. It's mostly the front of the tongue and the side of the tongue. I chewed it on this side of my mouth, so the teeth and the gums are kind of getting it a little bit. But it really went right to the back of that tonsil over here. Maybe it's just the way I swallowed or something. I don't know. It's really hitting it good, though. It feels good. It feels good, actually. But it's hitting it good and hard. But it's a nice burn. Now, the flavor, again, on it had habanero-ish type flavor. But there was a little bit of an undertone to it. A little bit different. It was slightly different than your typical habanero flavor. It was kind of almost wanting to lean towards like a peachy type of a flavor, but not quite peachy. You know, it wasn't like a peach flavor. It's kind of going in a direction like that. It was a strange flavor, like, but it had that typical classical type of habanero type of undertone to it. Now, again, I don't remember what the red one tastes like. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember. I don't remember if that tasted like a boot or did it taste more like a habanero. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. I remember it had an interesting flavor. I just don't remember what it tasted like. But this one had an interesting flavor to it, guys. This thing was really strange, man. I was definitely a little bit out there. I'm going to take another bite for you right off the side here. Chew it on this side. The heat's not bad, though. Okay, so now I chewed it on this side of my mouth, and the heat is starting to, it's equalizing now. It's kind of burning this side of the tongue, and it's starting to come across the top of the tongue. I kind of smushed it around a little more on the top of the tongue. I really want to see how it's going to affect the tongue. If it's just going to move around, or is it just, no, it's starting to heat up this side now. It's kind of heating up the top of it. I also was pushing around with my front of my tongue, so now the tip of the tongue is getting it a little. But it's not bad. If I was to put a Scoville on this, guess-wise, I would probably guesstimate that a Scoville on this was probably around, I'd say 40,000, something like that. Maybe a little higher. It really, it's hard to judge because it really focused the intensity of it on the back of my throat. That first time I bit it, the intensity of it really went to the back of the throat. Might have just been the way I swallowed or something. But man, that strength of it was all back there, so it was kind of hard to judge that. But the intensity of that by itself, yeah, I would probably say between 30 and 50. It potentially could be a lot higher. It could potentially even be 70, 80. I mean, it is an MA Wartryx, and MA Wartryx is a pretty hot pepper. It's actually rated pretty high. So it could be a lot higher. But in my opinion, that Scoville to me was like probably about 30, 40, somewhere like that. Maybe even around 50, because the way it was hitting the throat was intense, like almost like a scorpion type of burn. It wasn't as potent as a scorpion, but it was definitely it was the aggressiveness like that. It was actually starting to, my tonsil was starting to pound a little bit. And when I get that kind of a feeling, that's usually a pretty intense type of burn. That's usually pretty intense. So, yeah, it's an interesting pepper. Again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to offer seed. I might offer a couple offers, and that's it. Let you guys get it out there and start growing it for yourself, and maybe you could trade it off and see if you get other people to get some of the yellow versions of these MA Wartryx going. But I don't think I'm going to get too much seed. I'm probably going to get mostly what you see here and maybe off another six or so pods. You got to remember this time of the year, when you bring those pods in for the winter, once they come out of here and they go inside, and even now, even being in here, they kind of stop growing. It takes like, if that took like a month to normally form that pod, now it's going to take like 3 months. They just slow down growing. Once the sun starts to recede back, and then making seed for it's not really going to be much of an option either. It's not really. Once those pods get to a certain point, they ripen up small, and then there's no seed inside of it. So that could be another problem. So I may not get very much seed out of those. It's hard to say. They don't look. One of them, a few of them might, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I might make a few offers of this available, and you can try for yourself. Again, like I say, it's an interesting pepper. I don't think anybody offers an MA Wartryx Yellow, so this would be a first. And hopefully next year, if I can winter it over, we can bring it outside and maybe get a ton of them and just really, maybe I'll do a bonanza with it. And if I get enough of those and enough seed out of it, I'll just, I'll do maybe some free seed giveaways or something. But it'd be a good one, that's for sure. But anyway, guys, I gotta go. Don't know much more about what I could say about the pepper. Whatever information I can gather on, maybe if there is something out there like it, whatever information I could put together, I'll put it in the description below and on the website. I will also leave a link in the description below. Will take you over to the webpage, and you can buy the seeds for this if you want to give it a try. Outside of that, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.